It's where people gather around in a room, listen for a sound, hear our favorite tune. Come together with good friends, pretty women, cold beer, know right where to get it. Heard they got it here. Well, this is my kind of church, my kind of town, my kind of people. Y'all are easy to hang around. There ain't nothing I love better. I love it so much it hurts. These are my kind of people. This is my kind of church.
Howdy, everyone. Hey, this is Greg Holly. You're listening to The Greg Holly Show, coming to you live from the heart of the United States, here, the heartland, Fort Worth, Texas. The Greg Holly Show is brought to you by Highly Buick GMC, the #1 volume GMC dealer in North Texas. Brian, Eric, the rest of the crew will give you the hookup, all right? If you're going to go and throw a hissy fit, oh, my God, I don't like Buick, I don't like GMC, I don't like Subaru. Well, guess what? You got Subaru, Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Mazda, Volkswagen, Acura, and Audi to choose from. So, okay, before you get your panties in a wad, hear me out. The Highly family of brands is the only way to go. Right now, okay, while they remain, you can't sit here and wait all day, all right? You're going to have to get up, get a move on. $10,000 off all remaining 2020 GMC Sierra pickups. Make sure you mention the Greg Holly Show when you show up, and we're going to start pulling stuff out of thin air. The deals are going to get better and better. Guys, really fired up, man. It just keeps coming. I don't know what's going on, but believe it or not, Fiers picked up the phone for me earlier, or yesterday, the day before, whatever it was, here as usual, and lets us know that he's going to come on, grace us with his presence, and be our guest. Before we get to him, got to fill you in. Two things I want to cover. First off, the Fort Worth Texans men's league basketball team is 1-0. We picked up an 8 p.m. victory. We shot 13% from the field. Been sore as hell. Haven't felt this bad in years, but nonetheless, 1-0, baby. 1-0 is all that matters. Getting to something a little more serious. The sports writers, okay, the group that decides who gets into the Hall of Fame is yet again taking the fun out of everything. I think that's their job more than it is to look at something from, different points of view, right? What is the ultimate job of the sports writers, or the Hall of Fame in general? It's supposed to be the best guys in the Hall of Fame, the best players to ever step foot in the baseball field, basketball, so on and so forth, should be in the Hall of Fame. For the 9th time in history, the first time since 2013, guess what? None. If that's not fitting for everything else that's going on, why not? All right. If you don't get it your way, then here we are. Couple things I wanted to touch on there. Names such as Kurt Schilling, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Scott Rowland, the list, Manny Ramirez, the list goes on and on. If you haven't been under a rock for the last however many years, or you have a clue what you're looking at when you're watching TV or you go to a professional baseball game, those guys are the best of the best. Say what you will, if there's asterisks around it, if there is whatever, because on the flip side, I'm going to get to it here in a minute as far as defending a little bit of it and getting back to the main point of the best players in the game, not whether you like them or not whether they treated you well or good to the media. The best guys ever to play need to be in the Hall of Fame. What is it about? Again, last time I checked, the best ever to play are the ones that need to go in the Hall of Fame. Seems to me, right? There's a brown-nosing element that goes into it. Use the names that you want. I'm not going to get into all that and calling them out, but it seems that it's not just the players, but it's got to be the little choir boy or a perfect little fit here. Oh, they were good to us. They're this, that. And then there's your guys, obviously, that are just, you can't miss. There's no way around it, right? Guys like Griffey, Mariano Rivera, so on and so forth, where it's been unanimous. But let's go again. Let's get back to it. Bonds, Manny Ramirez, Alex Rodriguez, Rafael Palmeiro, McGuire, Sosa, and so on are not in, okay? Due with some of them, right, to the suspicion of PED use. Some of them, okay, confirmed. You can go through the Alex Rodriguez, for example. But let's go a little step further here. Jeff Bagwell, these are all guys I'm fans of too, so it's not a matter of sitting here and burying them, or Astro guys, Ranger guys, so on, and hell. But Jeff Bagwell, Pudge Rodriguez, Mike Piazza. Like them, love them, hate them, indifferent. They're the same. They're on the same level as the other guys that we mentioned, with the exception, again, of guys where it's been confirmed. But if those guys are getting in, now how on earth do we go through and say, hey, Bonds, you're not in, all-time home, probably the best, literally, most talented guy, best player to ever get in to ever step in a batter's box, on top of everything else with the steals and the gold, whatever. Roger Clemens, guy pitched for 6,000 years. The one I want to talk about, I know is a little outspoken since yesterday, if you've been following it at all, Curt Schilling, right? Let me back up before that. What about Pete Rose? The guy betted on the game. He's got, 400 million more hits than the next guy in line. Can't get in. We'll deal with that again. We'll touch on that later. Seems to be a big time double standard again, but that's nothing new. Curt Schilling, get 20 years in the show, 6-time All-Star, 20-plus game winner, okay? I think a couple of them were a couple years in a row. I was looking at it earlier. Everything's running together because I'm putting together my case. Mike Fiers is getting signed at the end of the show. 3 times he a 20-game winner, 3,116 career punch-outs, couple World Series, I believe for a fact, obviously the Diamondback side. All-Star game, or what's the word I'm looking for? World Series MVP. He calls the media after his career, right? Calls the media out. It might have been a little bit of headbutting right during his career. But it's what he does. His career is over with. He calls out the media for some of their hypocrisy or BS, which, fact of the matter, like him, love him, hate him, wherever you stand on it all. Okay, I'm so darn sick of talking about that. There's truth. The power these guys have with zero accountability is freaking ridiculous. I'll go one step further. This isn't to get me all fired up. I got to save some energy here. Like I told you, I'm pleading a case here as the show goes on. But how in the hell can you watch baseball, watch Curt Schilling, and say he's not a Hall of Famer based on what I mentioned above, unless there's the old bug that, crawled up your rear end and it, has his name on it, and you can't get that out of your head. You can't. Okay? Let's go back to it again and think of along the lines of ridiculous. If these needs to make an adjustment, and how it became to be the case in the first place is ridiculous. You can't make a case for some of these writers while they're sitting in their mom's basement waiting for her to give you a call, right? That dinner's ready. They're going to walk upstairs, knock down their room temperature Hawaiian punch while crushing the old Dutch country Hereford hot dog. These guys have never stepped on the field, and they're sitting here with guys who are the 10th of 1% of the 1% that was ever able to play at that level, on top of the longevity, the success they've had, and all the other factors that go into it. If they could ever get off the saddle of their high horse, right, when they're going through here, and based off of what they've done, I know it's a crazy concept to get into right now, that we're going to get into facts of what they've done off the field, not whether or not they've butt hurt that respective sports writer or journal. It's all the same, right? They get in this association. There's all this power. But anyways, okay, what do I know? Why not have a group of guys that have never done anything making decisions for the best that have ever done it? The Curt Schilling thing, as of yesterday, he wrote a letter. It's spot on. Unbelievable. If you haven't had a chance to read it, again, you may have to, take off your off the training wheels or your swimmies if you're floating around the pool as you're listening to this. But he talks about having himself removed. There's all the stuff that goes on, all the stuff that goes into it that he's dealt with. He's had conversations with so on and so forth. He's had his wife currently is battling, just the combo of it all. If you want to go and you want to put that sort of power in people's hands, not those that have already been elected in the Hall of Fame, very similar to how the Heisman process is run, right? You get all those guys up there, kind of crazy, but there's a lot to be said for your peers doing it rather than some people that may hold a grudge against you, which blows my mind too, that a guy like Griffey, some of these guys that are out there across the board, you finally had, I want to see what Rivera was your first unanimous Hall of Famer. That is, it's dumb. It's stupid. It's whatever word you want to use. There is no way on God's green earth, some of these players, we're going to not vote. We're going to vote against them. That, again, I said it earlier, that is, you're holding a grudge. You're whiny. You're taking you're at the playground. You just get your ass handed to you while you're playing. and you're going to take your ball, your shoulders are going to be rounded off, and you're going to walk home. You're going to go and you're going to ruin the party for everyone. That's what I got for you, man. That's 10 minutes, maybe a little less. We had a little music to get us started. That's 10 minutes of coming at you pretty hot. If you get a chance, listen to the Curt Schilling thing. Go through and ask yourself, honestly, what direction is the stuff heading, right? We're already going. We're trying to mess with the game and this way and that way, getting rid of the DH, whatever. Like it, love it, hate it. Formulate your own opinion. But the one thing I can say, if you're looking at having the best guys that have ever played the game into the Hall of Fame, what's going on right now is currently not the case. It's not. That's not why I'm here. That's not why Fiers is here. Nonetheless, guys, here I am getting ready to rock and roll. Today's guest, World Series winner, two-time no-hitter thrower, right? For those of y'all out there, no. Through 2 no-hitters. Bring them on. I want to get ready to rock and roll here. And before I do that, pump the brakes. Here he is. Anyway, Fiers, you're going to listen to this one. You're brought to you. We got you in Florida, but you're brought on by none other than Dr. Nikki Green, Fort Worth Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. Cosmetics are their specialty. Veneers, implants, Invisalign, whitening, Fiers. You need a little teeth whitening? I haven't had you smile yet. If you do, I'll get with you. There you go. Amen, brother. Crowns, cleaning, Dr. Green, Dr. Lee, Dr. McCulloch, Dr. Flossie. Fiers, write this down. I'm going to shoot it to you. ngreendental.com, 817-653-8859. They routinely find themselves in the top of Texas. I know you're in Florida. The hell that get on a flight. You can stay upstairs. We got room. Brooke, you're taking a nap. You can sleep down the hall. Nonetheless, man, what's up?
Hey, man, just off-season living, man, in Florida. It's where I always am. Unless once the season starts, then I'm off to whatever city that is. But born and raised down here in South Florida, and can't beat the weather. I mean, Cali's pretty nice, but being from here, love it. So I don't think I'll ever move.
You can't handle the taxes in Cali, man. Let's get real.
No, nobody can.
Nope. Hey, as we hit the ground running here, okay, I got all sorts of stuff. If you're looking at what I'm coming at you with, we got pages worth, and I can't just make a template of it. I handwrite it every time and end up with carpal tunnel. Nonetheless, you had a unique route in getting there, right? Everyone goes through, and there's the perception or misconception, however you want to think of it, that if you don't go to a Power 5 school, right? You got Big 12, SEC, ACC, you name it, that you got no shot of getting there. And I want to say, I'm going to let you do your thing. I want this to go and kind of run on its own, but you're sitting here, case in point, 10 years in, 9 years in, all the time stuff figured out, a absolute, sitting here, case in point, that just wasn't the route for you.
Yeah. I think more the drive in yourself gets you to where you want to be. And at the end of the day, going to those big schools, big D1, like you said, definitely helps. I think the opportunity is more there because of the scouts and the organization knowing what kind of situation you came from. But you have those outliers where guys can get into schools or, chose a different route, maybe to stay closer to home or whatever it is. But, if you have the ability, I feel like people will find you. It's all about being consistent, staying within yourself, just keep going, if you have a good year and no one talks about you or, comes to see you, I mean, they're gonna hear your name. They're gonna, know where you're at. So you just gotta stay at it, stay consistent, keep trucking along, and eventually, you'll get an opportunity at some point. But like you said, it's not always the easy route. Being drafted in the 22nd round, being from junior college, I went to an NAIA school, and then I transferred my senior year to a D2. You come across a lot of players that, definitely have talent, definitely have, really good skill sets to play baseball at a higher level and in pro ball. But, sometimes it's the mentality of it where guys think just because they aren't at a D1, I mean, it's worldwide. I mean, people know how crucial it is to play D1. I mean, you just have better opportunities, but in my situation, I always thought no matter where I was, it's just about me, playing the best ball I can and staying at it and just just keep going until someone pulls you off the field. And I was never, gratefully to this point, like I'm still playing. So, every year I'm working, I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to, improve my game. And that's how I've been my whole life. So I think as long as you keep pushing yourself, no matter where you're at, I feel like someone will eventually see you, and it's all about performing. Sometimes you have one shot to make that performance in front of somebody. So you just got to be ready for whenever that chance, arises.
Fiers, man, let me first off, before we go any further, those are the thorough responses I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the one word you blow me off, and I'm sitting here trying to make stuff up as we go. So stay with that. It's
I got you, man. I'm good.
Amen, man. Well, don't stop. Hey, all right. So going off of this, right, as we're looking in it here on all our websites and the way everything's written now in baseball, whether it's youth, college, pro, whatever. So you signed as a senior, so that technically should be a death sentence for you. You were a late round or later, I wouldn't say late, right in the middle. I guess stuff's shrinking down now. Draft pick. You didn't go to a massive school. So in theory, your career never should have started or never should have gotten to where it is. But let's add one more thing to the equation. Everyone's all about velocity. They're all about all this stuff that I really don't understand. I'm trying to learn a ton of it to help benefit benefit some of the older guys, just so we can make sense of it and see if we can make some improvements. But you were never, it wasn't like you sat there and just tossed trash up to the plate. But the big thing, you were never going to be at 98, 99, or whatever it is now. But here you are with 2 no-hitters under your belt, and probably your biggest accomplishment, if any, is sitting here talking on this show right now. Elaborate.
Well, yeah, I coach kids all the time. I help in my high school right now. I always go back wherever I can. My friends that coach wherever it is, they always want me to come out or help out with the pitchers or just be around the kids. And that's one of the main things we hear is everyone talks about velocity. That would be the one question I get from pitchers is like, how do I gain velocity? How do I throw harder? That's the main thing. No one talks about command or hey, how do I hold, this curveball or whatever it is. It's hard to teach velocity. It's really hard to teach velocity. And for me, like, it's tough for me to teach velocity since I don't throw it, but at their age, obviously they're looking at me like, yeah, I throw very hard, but not in the sense of being a major leaguer where I'm at the bottom of the totem pole here throwing 88. And like you said, throwing 2 no-hitters, obviously that takes a lot of, team effort. My teams I was on, having a catcher behind there, calling a good game, having defenders behind you making plays as well. It's not all on me, but, to be in that situation, to make big pitches in big situations, definitely is not easy. But, having the velocity being 88, 89, it's more about command than velocity, because especially at that big league level. Even in the minor leagues, you played, I played with you. There's a lot of guys that if you're just throwing one pitch and you're throwing upper 90s, those guys are going to time it up. And
right.
It's not all about velocity. Yeah, it does help. If you have other pitches that complement it and you have a slider and a changeup or whatever it is. But command, I always teach command before anything else. That's the best asset I think you can have as a pitcher. And so that's where I've been my whole career, is learning how to pitch from an early age, because I didn't have that velocity. And I think it helped me later on down the road that I wasn't just a guy that threw hard, that I worked on command. I worked on throwing certain pitches to where my velocity ended up getting a little bit higher than what it was. But I'm at a state now where if I'm throwing 88 to 90 and, I'm commanding the ball and I'm throwing the ball the way I want to, then I feel like I have the advantage over even big league hitters.
Man, and I think you bring up a good point there, because tell me this too, and the answer is yes, but I want to just you to answer it. Is there's absolutely a threshold. A right-handed pitcher, it's not okay. We got to make it known too, guys. If you're flipping 78 up to the plate or 70, there's a certain level that it has to reach and it has to get there. But with you, if I just going off of memory, you're what? Fastball, cutter, breaking ball, changeup.
Yep.
You throw a changeup ever? Do you
Love
actually?
it. Love it.
Amen. Good. You good. But bigger breaking ball, if I remember right. So here's the deal. As you start looking at this, it's not, hey guys, it's not 88, it's not 90. We're sitting here flat, we're living thigh high, and magically we're throwing no hitters, and we got 10 years in the show. Changing eye levels, pitching in your cutter's been freaking enormous for you. I know it has, because I remember watching, I think, one of them in the clubhouse. Maybe it was your first one with the Astros there, but it's just stuff like that. It's not a matter of punching out it's mindset as much as velocity is. I think it's mindset as far as knowing what you're doing. And the sooner you learn, because I made a note here, okay, we're talking velocity. If you know what you're doing, if you realize that you running it off their barrel, either getting on their hands, hitting off the end, that works. And the defense that y'all have at that level, where maybe it gets difficult on a youth level, is a whole lot more difficult to get through the mind of someone young, because they don't have that behind them. If I don't punch out the world and one gets hit at old Ricky at shortstop, he's going to fire the thing into the 45th row, and I'm out there for a month, right? So the sooner you get that, when I look at it with you, one of the keys has always been, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, you go out, you compete your rear end off, you attack hitters, you're pitching deep into games, eliminating walks for the most part. When I go through looking at it, your walk to punch out, walk to innings, all that stuff is all in line, and you give yourself a shot, and here you are again. We're sitting here. It's got to be a mindset.
No, that's a great point you bring up, is and attacking hitters. I think I've had that conversation with a lot of young pitchers as well, is that they don't want to throw the ball in a place where a guy can hit the ball. They want to be all around and get as many strikeouts as they can, and pitch out of the zone where they're striking out 10, but they're also walking 10, where your defense at a younger age might not be as stellar as, you get older and you start playing with different guys and at higher levels. But, at my age and where I'm at, I mean, it's all about keeping hitters off balance, just keeping the ball off the barrel. I want early contact. I just don't want hard early contact. And so, but I remember when I was younger, I mean, I was the same way. I was like, how many strikeouts can I get? But now it's about how many innings can I throw? How deep in the game can I get? And that comes with early contact, but weak early contact, or getting guys to just be a little bit off balance, to where you get, an easy play for an infielder or a fly ball for an outfielder. So you got to use the field and use your defense.
Man, when I look at it here, okay, I can speak of obviously the stuff in the early going there, coming up with Milwaukee. But since then, tell me if I'm wrong, you've been Milwaukee, Detroit, Houston, Oakland.
Milwaukee, Houston, Detroit, then Oakland, in that order. But yes, you got it.
There you go. My apologies for the order.
I got to keep you in line.
Did you notice there's the freedom element, right? You got something that's working, and I remember, on our end, you got to take bits and pieces. But was there, again, whether it ends up being like Oakland, Houston, Detroit, Milwaukee, did you notice anything, whether it was catchers or their attention to either the analytics side or just pitching coaches giving you freedom? Was there one place that you felt maybe, go off success? I'm not talking necessarily success, but was there one place where you felt or feel to this point, the most relaxed?
I think the place where, well, let me just say this first, is that there's a lot of teams now that are all about, analytics. And I think that's what you're kind of getting into.
Yeah.
And so some teams advise you or tell you to throw certain things and certain or more pitches than others, just because of what the computer says. And, I get it to a certain extent, but I think the most comfortable as a pitcher, you're going to want to throw what you've always thrown and been successful getting to that point. So it's kind of, it goes back and forth with the pitcher and the catcher, because the catcher's in there doing the work behind the scenes most of the time, getting ready for the games, going over the hitters, studying every hitter that they have, even coming off the bench. So But when they study those, everything on paper shows the analytics on what to throw these guys and where to throw them. So he's mostly going off that. He's trying to be on the same page with you, but he's also trying to go off of what the organization wants and how they think winning games should be. And a lot of these teams that are very analytic, I mean, they're winning games, so it's hard to go against that. And, it's tough. It's tough because as a pitcher, I mean, and everyone knows it, that you've been a pitcher, you played at TCU, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're playing at a big school and you want to feel comfortable out that facing good lineups. You just want to feel free, feel like, hey, sometimes you're in a game, something's working. You want to keep doing that or keep throwing that pitch where you can't really necessarily do that at this level where you have to go off the game script.
Right. And I know I was talking, we had, several guys on in previous shows and I like to touch on this just to get a little bit of the individual mindset of y'all. One thing that you can't spit out of a computer is how you feel. Right? How you feel that day. If something, oh man, hey, Fiers, you're breakable. Your cutter's been great. Well, hell, in the back of your mind, like this thing's trash today. I'm sitting here in a spot. I got to get an out, and I'm going to go flip this garbage up to the plate. I got no feel for it. Whereas, your conviction and as you said before, without beating a dead horse, the mindset reigns big time, or your comfort level is enormous. With hell, all right, here's what they're putting down. That feels brutal. I know damn well I get this guy out, but I'm going to make them happy if I throw such and such a pitch. But
I can take it as just another little point is that when you're facing guys, and especially, I remember when I was coming up early in my career in the big leagues, you'll come across hitters that, have had a lot of good numbers on, say, they're a good high ball hitter, or they recognize curveball well. And you get up to the big leagues and my favorite pitch at the time is a curveball. And there's certain hitters like, don't throw him a curveball. It's like, it's slider over curveball. And you're thinking, well, he's never seen my curveball. So how do I just go away from one of my more dominant pitches and throw a pitch that's my fourth best pitch just because that hitter doesn't recognize slider as well from other pitchers? You know what I'm saying? Like you haven't faced this guy yet, but the numbers say he's good on curveballs, but he's never seen you pitch.
Right.
So it's there's so many different ways of looking at and going into games, and that sometimes it kind of gets in your head, and you're kind of you don't want to take too much time of looking at a sheet of paper and just pitching straight to a script, where you have to be a pitcher and go off a feel, like you were saying.
No, absolutely. Because the other piece of that, at least for me, is all right. Well, you said earlier in your career, you're taking a lot more of that to heart. Guess what? Now you got a little more skin in the game. You got some stuff riding on it. You got the background. I got the resume you've built up. Well, hell, maybe I got a little more of an argument if we go against it, right?
Yeah.
But hey, let's see here. I get this next segment we'll go into is advice from a crusty MLB vet to kids. All righty. Experience where you were let's say what you know now. All right. Where do you feel when you were, let's take you back to your 14, 15, 16, whatever. I don't know if you can go back that far. 15, your freshman, sophomore, junior year of high school versus now. Where were you talent-wise? Where were you at mindset-wise? Was this even a thought?
Oh, man. I definitely remember those days. Those days where it's baseball 24/7. I mean, that's all I wanted to do. I grew up watching the Braves. Marlins came out later on, 93, but I was watching baseball every night, man. I was visualizing pitching in the big leagues, growing up watching John Smoltz, Maddox, Glavine. These guys were unreal, man. Like it was just fun to watch. And pitching at that time, early in my high school career, I was want to say just like a 2-pitch pitcher, but I threw from a lot of different angles. I threw sidearm, I threw 3/4, I threw over the top. I was trying anything just to keep these guys off balance or give them different looks. And I had pretty decent command. I could throw the ball all day if they wanted me to, kind of rubber arm. And so it was all about me just going out there and competing and wanting it more, because I threw 2 pitches but I would give you different looks. I would come at you sidearm and drop down and just do anything I could to win the game.
Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
Yeah, I played a lot of sports. It was always about just staying busy, really. Football, basketball. I started playing golf in the years past now, but back then it was mostly baseball, football, a little bit of soccer.
Man, well,
yeah,
soccer.
I did it all, man. I was a world-class athlete.
Were you any good?
I was all right.
Yeah, there you go. If you're saying you're all right, that's a different direction. Going off of that, just getting out and doing stuff and playing. We get around parents, get around the kids. I always try to hit them up with what you were saying. It's baseball 24/7. Okay, I get that. More or less, I think along the lines of what you're getting at, staying busy, doing stuff. You get out and just do it. Other sports obviously contribute to your success, to your athleticism, on a baseball field. But I always say or think, guys, if you get in and you're just completely messing around, it's 1,000 times better than sitting home doing nothing.
Yeah, I would say that too. I mean, it was all about staying busy, man. I just love to be outside. Obviously, the technology back then wasn't what it is now. We didn't have, cell phones. We didn't have Call of Duty, Fortnite, where we're sitting at home all day. I mean, it was all about getting out of the house and just doing something, I was just bored. I was bored if I was sitting at home, with my parents just sitting in the living room. I had to get outside and be with the boys.
Amen. Hey, if baseball didn't pan out, what are you doing now? I'm not talking to you sitting on the couch talking to me. If baseball never got to the point you got done with your last year of school, where are you doing?
That's always like the number one question people ask. It's always tough to think, man. Like,
I gotta come up with better questions then. God bless. Don't kick me.
I'm just telling you, man, like it's tough to think because you just put all your eggs in one basket. Like for me, my mindset was play Major League Baseball. I wanted to make baseball a career out of it. And I did everything I could to get to the point I'm at. And whether it was, late night, we'd go out for runs. I mean, I had a group of friends in high school where all we did was train, man. We would stay late after practice. We would keep hitting on the field or, taking ground balls and just doing things with each other, man, that I think a lot of kids miss that part nowadays. Everyone wants to just leave as soon as it happens or, get there right when practice starts and leave as soon as it ends.
Let me write this down. So putting in extra work, liking what you're doing, being there and having fun. That's a pedigree for, having a little success in this.
Yeah. It's tough, man, because nowadays I just don't see it as much. I really don't. I wish I did see it more. I try to encourage it with these kids, man. But, it's tough. It's tough to tell a kid or, try to drive a kid when you got to have it inside you. You got to want it just as much as, the next guy that's training because, it's really up to you on how far you get and where you want to go.
All right, let's have a little bit of fun with this now. All right. You got 2 no-hitters under your belt. I don't want let me think of the way to put it here. I don't want the Baseball Network or ESPN. I gotta sound good. I gotta sound professional. And all right, I want that crap.
You want the Greg Holly show version.
See, you dogged me for my other questions. Now I got to come out guns blazing on this other one. Good God, I'm sitting here acting like I'm prepared. Oh God, I get asked that one all the time. That question sucked. What else you got? All right, here you go. When did you realize All right, because let me take it a step further. That's how the question starts, and then I said I don't want some cliche BS answer that you're giving to reporters. You know darn well you're cruising. You know you haven't given up a hit. You know it's going on.
Yeah.
When does it start settling in the is it seventh inning, eighth inning, ninth? When does the pucker factor really start kicking in?
Oh man, well, I always go back to you've been a pitcher, bro, just like me, and if you haven't been giving up a hit. Okay. I've heard it from numerous guys where, I didn't know what was going on. I what's going on. You just don't want to think about it until later on. Like you're not in the second inning. You're not through the second inning. Like, I got a no hitter going. There's no hits, but you're not thinking no hitter at that point. I mean, every game I go into, like, I don't want anyone to get a hit. I don't want to give up any runs. It's going to happen, but when you pitch every fifth day, you're just trying to go deep. You're trying to go deep in the game. You're trying to, limit runs, limit the big inning, just keep your team in the game and give them a chance to win. And so I would say, like you said, I mean, I would say around the sixth or seventh inning is when you're like, okay, let me buckle down here and try to get this thing done. I was through the sixth inning against Cincinnati when I was with Milwaukee. I was 6 innings, actually perfect through 6, and I gave up the first hit in the 7th. So it was kind of similar with the 2 I threw. I mean, once you get past that mark of where you've given up before, I guess, I think you're like, okay, it's getting real. Like we have 9 outs left or 6 outs left. Like let's get it done. Let's buckle down. Let's make some pitches and make history.
All right. Well, I got to keep going here because you're starting. I was starting to lose you. You're starting to get a little correct on me there, so I got to get back to it. And do you feel yourself? Did you feel yourself nibbling a bit the later you got? Like, hell, I want to pitch to contact. I want to pitch to contact. Later on, you're probably like, the hell with contact. I'm going to try to punch out the world. Try to make it. Because what wasn't one of them? I got a year-old, by the way. I'll give you my address after. You could send her. She turned 1 on January 20th. You send her a gift. Wasn't one of them maybe the Oakland one, or maybe I'm dreaming. Did it get to a point you feel like 55,000 pitches? Did one of them start to stack up?
Oh, both of them. Both of them were 130 plus. I wasn't. Man, those were my only 2 complete games too in the big league.
I did notice that when I was looking at your stuff here. I'm going to have a little selling point write up for you where I make you feel good before we tell you goodbye.
But I'll say this with the last out of my Houston one, I was at a point where I was facing Justin Turner, and in the heart of that lineup, solid hitter. I mean, I faced him 3 times earlier in that game. He came up for a 4th time. This guy's hitting, 330 on the season. I felt like I threw him a bunch of crap early in the game, and then that last at bat, all I did was throw him fastballs. I think I kind of threw him off just because I literally just threw him all fastballs. I threw 6 fastballs in that at bat and struck him out. And he might have been like, I just had that feeling where, okay, he might be sitting on this curveball here. But I was just, it got into my head. I just felt like, hey, I'm going to blow him away. I'm going to blow him away with 88, Justin Turner.
That's it.
That was my mindset at that point, which is, it's nuts, man. I might have got in my own head, but I had that confidence. It all came back to the confidence where I just need to locate this and throw them heaters. And then I would say with the Oakland game, there was some trash talk. I think Puig was, he's pointing to left field at some point. I think he might have been acting like he was going to hit a homer. I don't know. He hit a couple of hard balls early in the game. Votto hit one where Ramon robbed it in center field. There were some hard hit balls. My defense was huge, and but man, you get in a mindset where you're just so confident in like anything you throw, especially in those games where you're just like, no matter what I throw, I'm gonna get them out.
That was one of the questions we got from one of the people listening. How big did your defense play a role in your no hitters? And it sounds like what inning was the home run when he robbed it?
Oh man, I think it was the 7th inning.
So it was getting real.
Or 6. It was the 6th or 7th inning. It was the first one was I threw a cutter down and away to, I forgot what the guy's name, right-handed hitter. I think he might have came in mid-game. I don't even know. I can't remember. It was a blur. And he pops this ball up like right in short right field, and Profar is going back like on an angle, makes a diving play. Like that's a hit. That's a hit 9 out of 10 times. It's one of those little bloopers that fall in. But he made an amazing play. And then literally the next pitch was Votto. I threw a first pitch curveball, and he absolutely hammered this ball. And off the bat, it was no shot. This is staying in the yard. And Ramon Laureano goes up. He was probably a couple feet over the fence and grabbing that ball and taking it back. Pretty amazing stuff there.
What did you do your next outing in both of them? You remember? You go out and get rocked?
No, actually, after my Houston one, I remember pitching against the Twins, and I had a no-hitter in the fifth. I was no-hitting in the fifth, and Joe Mauer actually hit a line drive through the right side.
What a shocker there, right? That guy.
Yeah, another tough out.
Yeah.
I want to say the Oakland one. What was it? I think I pitched pretty well. Because that year, I started off the year like pretty bad.
What was that? 19?
Yeah, that was in 19. I started off the year bad. My first however many starts, I had a 6, almost something like a high 6 ERA. I was so inconsistent, just not feeling like myself. And once that no hitter happened, I mean, even us as a team, we were just not playing well. And I threw that game, and it kind of changed my season, but also our season as a whole with Oakland. I just went on an absolute run after that. It might have just gave me confidence to get back, saying to compete and still trust your stuff. And I went on a really good run. So I don't know exactly what happened after that, but I know the rest of that year I was pretty lights out.
Good deal. Because that's one of those ones, man. You look at it and you don't think, oh, hey, I go 130 pitches, 140 pitches, whatever it ends up being. You're up again, and you get 4 days off. You're up again. So it's one of those ones.
Well, I will say in Houston, they gave me an extra couple days because we had an off day. Then they had another guy throw, and then so I didn't pitch for I had 7 days. They gave me an extra 2 days, which was very helpful.
All right, I'm starting to get bombarded here question-wise. Pre-game, routine-wise, you big into routine? You one of those guys that walks around like you saw someone just, shoot your kitty cat before the game, or is it something you're pretty chill, pretty loose hanging out? And then also, what's your walkout song? What's the one that works? We don't want some garbage. Give us a good one.
All right, well, I'll start with the walkout song. I've had it for years. Me and my buddy, we've used it since our high school days. It's been the Saw theme, the dark, eerie. I mean, a lot. I don't think I've ever heard anyone use it. Me and my buddy used it, and I just kept it going throughout my whole career.
Your buddy have a name? You want to give him a shout out?
Oh, Mike Dobre.
Mike Dobre up in here. Here we go on the Greg Holly Show. Good having you.
Game Day Academy down here in South Florida, man. I mean, this is the dude that really changed my life in high school, where we started working out together, doing, teaching me the kind of the work ethic to get there, doing beach runs at 5 a.m. He's the military mindset. He went to the Army. His dad's been in the military pretty much his whole life. So he's got that mindset, just, keep pushing, keep grinding, and never give up type of mentality. So I definitely give a lot of my success to that guy. He's got me to the point where I am now. But I would say that what was the question? Sorry, I missed the first question. I got caught up in the walkout, and
I wish I could pull it up on my phone here. I'd sit here and we just keep it on repeat till about 6 p.m. tonight. So what gets you fired up? Pre-game routine. You got anything you like? You go through eat a head of cabbage?
No, I'm not crazy superstitious wise, but in the clubhouse before the game, I'm pretty relaxed. I mean, the thing is, with me, I don't want to be uptight when I go into games. I want to be loose. I still talk to the guys, playing cards or something, like just having a good time, like just listen to music, walking around, talking to dudes. And once the time gets to, I usually start my warm-ups around like 5:30 for a 7 o'clock game, doing all my stuff inside, getting stretched out, hitting a couple workouts, and then heading on the field, just going through my routine of my stretching, my active stretch, and my throwing program and my bullpen. But nothing crazy. Honestly, I wish I could hype this up even more, but I'm pretty simple when it comes to getting ready for games.
No, you got plenty to hype up because someone put a meme up on you the other day when I was going, or I don't know, it wasn't the other day. It was like earlier today. What in the hell was that facial hair you had?
That facial hair was just that, but that's another thing I like doing. I mean, especially with Oakland, these guys are. I mean, we were such a close knit group that like we just have fun all the time. There's
a power outage in the bathroom when you were shaving.
Yeah, I mean, I told them, I said, because even right now it's kind of bushy and long, so I get to a point where I'm just like, I'm gonna shave it off. I'll start new and I'll clean shave, and I was doing the same thing. We were in Texas. We were facing the Rangers. That old stadium. If you ever been there, it gets really hot. It gets really humid. And I just felt like I got to shave this thing off to even have a chance out there. And they told me, hey, do something cool with it. I think Manaea and Sean Manaea, Chris Bassett, these guys wanted me to shave something crazy in my beard. I think Manaea wanted just like the chops. Like he's a big chop guy.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to do chops, and we looked up some things online, just funny beards, and that one was I actually kind of liked it. I was like, that one's kind of cool. And so it was easy to do. It happened pretty quick, and then the guys thought I wasn't going to go out there and pitch with it, and I said, yeah, I'll do it. It's not a big deal.
Watch me.
Yeah. And so it's just kind of just to keep it loose in the clubhouse, just have fun with the guys. And it's a long season. You know how it is, man. Baseball season's long. You're around those guys every day. You're around those guys more than your family, really.
Period.
So, you just want to have fun.
Hey, most mammo bomb you've given up. Let's go.
Oh, God. There's a lot of them, man.
No, one that just sticks out. That was one that was like the hell with even looking.
Oh, I mean, there's so many. Like facing Trout over the years, it's not fair, man. Like this dude, like I'll just give you kind of back to analytics. Like you go over a guy's at bats and you're like, oh, this guy doesn't swing at the first pitch. My first career at bat against him, he swung at the first pitch at a homer. So it's like, oh yeah, you can get ahead in the count. He likes to take a few pitches or whatever. First pitch hammered over the bullpens in LA. Like it was not a just over the fence homer. It was cleared both the bullpens, like an absolute bomb. I mean, there's some big hitters. I would say there was one I gave up on Houston. It was right center in the second deck. His last name is Vargas. He plays for the Twins. Big lefty. Trying to think of his first name. Last name Vargas. And he hit an absolute mammo bomb. I tried to throw a cutter, and it just spun right there in the middle, and he didn't miss it.
It was a cutter. Just you forgot the cut part.
The cutter, yeah, it forgot the cutting part, and he got all of it.
All right, let's get to some fun stuff here. All right, I told you we're not going to go. We're not going to take the scene. My grandma always used to take the scenic route home. Right, the old stay out of traffic. The hell with that. What we're going to do here. Let's get to it. 10 years in. How long? What do you got? I'm sick of saying that. I don't want to make you feel better. Are you to 10 yet?
Dude, I've been playing in pro ball for 10 years, but Major League time I have 7.5.
Oh, sorry. I got to bring you back down to earth here. 7.
Yeah, don't give me the 10-year mark. That's something special, man.
Yeah. All right.
Not a lot of people get to that.
Everyone listening, guys, doesn't have 10 years in the show yet. What a scrub. Nonetheless, go through and I'm looking at this because I'm stating a case, dude. I already told you I'm stating a case. I'm going to do it again for the old people at home. You've made a little bit of coin, right? I'm assuming you traded in the Oldsmobile. What are you whipping around? Give us something exciting. I don't want a garbage answer.
Well, I would say so. I mean, I know you're from Texas, so I got a big truck. My first kind of big purchase was a F-250, the Black Ops. I just loved it. I fell in love with it. I saw it. It's kind of already lifted. I mean, I just love it. It was my first truck, and I still have it now. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. And then recently I bought a Ferrari, but
now, hell yeah. Now we're talking.
Have fun for a little bit, man. Just
what color? Tell us. Let's go.
I love all black, man. Same with my truck. Everything's all black. What
about the interior? Do you give it a little splash of color?
Yeah, red interior, black exterior. But I'm always going black with cars. I mean, I'm in all black now. So everything's black.
And hold on, show us the show flip flops. What we got rocking there? Oh man, yes sir. The only I got a little pop of color. The only difference is in my kitchen. We did our cabinets are white. We got this turquoise green island. I'll say you got your Ferrari. I got my island.
Yeah, that's your wife's doing, isn't it?
It is, man. She's got it going on. You got it going on. All right, going a little step further here. Outside the car, we got any other show purchases you've made? Or let me say this too. I'll give you two of them. Biggest purchase, and then your biggest purchase that you think was pretty stupid.
I think the Ferrari is kind of fun but stupid as well, because it's a lot of money for something that
How often do you drive it?
I drive it pretty often, especially in the off season now. I mean, I switch off between cars depending on what I'm doing, but it gets used. It gets used pretty much, I would say, half the week. But
no kidding.
But I'll say the biggest purchase for me, and I don't want to bring a tear to your eye here, but just buying my parents a house, I think was a huge purchase for me, because that's always something I wanted to do when I was younger. I always said, I wanted to take care of my family, especially if I made the big leagues and I made enough money to help them, because they've helped me throughout my whole life, obviously, and just doing everything they could for me. So, to buy them a house and take care of them, it was definitely number one. And it's more gratifying to do that than buying my own self a nice car.
No, man, no, that's where it's at. You actually are. I had to stop for a sec, get the tears out of my eye. But I was also wondering, I think your head's blocking it, but do you have any furniture in your house, or what are we looking at here?
Dudes, so I got this, so if you see, it's a pool table. It's like a
black. Oh, what a shocker.
Yeah, so it's like a different room, but this room over here this is the hanging out living room type area here. So massage chair over there in the corner.
Fireplace for South Florida. Hell yeah, I can see that coming into
that never gets used. But yeah, we got a golf course outside, a little pool in the back, but nothing too crazy, man. I'm actually looking at houses. I might move soon, so we'll see what happens with this market.
If you come to Fort Worth, my wife's got you. We'll make it happen. Hey, let's see here. I'm about tapped out. Now I'm going to go and plead the case here. If you want to hang out and listen to it, you can. Or if Lennon pulls you off, you can hear about it behind the scenes. But here's what I got. All right. This is totally for me to say, not you. All righty. If you want to do something where I become a pro bono agent, we can make that happen. What I'm trying to figure out here, this is for everyone listening. This, again, not looking for feedback from you. When you go through, okay, you got a guy who gives you 150 plus innings a year, a career 4 ERA, 10 years total. Let's get it back. 7 years in the show. Since 2016, he's 52-33 with a 634 win percentage. Not really sure who doesn't want that. The big thing for me is this. First club, the first club to grow a set is going to land themselves a guy who's going to eat up innings, going to go out, is going to get you deep into games, give you a stud on the mound. And the problem, everyone's hammering, oh man, what about the Astros? What about the Astros? What about the Astros? Guys, there's damn good reason why we stayed away from it. And here's the thing on my end and what I want to say. And again, man, I appreciate you big time coming on. It's crazy now for me doing this, having played with you, known you long before, where you're at now and what's going on. It's crazy we live in somewhere where, we touched on it earlier with the Hall of Fame, but where integrity, it's not a matter of it being frowned upon, but it's almost shunned, right? And it's one of those ones that we live in an age where you said, it's let's see here. Oh man, well, why do you this? Why do you that? Oh, well, it wasn't say. It's not a matter. It's if we go and we start looking at stuff that's going on. Case in point is there's a crap ton of guys that have never got an opportunity to do stuff that go out, and who knows? That could be the first time. Be the first time. Guys, hell, I'll use me for an example. You're in a spot, you're doing stuff. Proven guys on contracts have the flexibilities. We talked about you at the draft earlier, right? First rounders, second rounders, guys out of the Big 12. It's more of a solidified thing for an organization. But what drives me completely nuts is conclusions that are jumped to. There's no background of it all. It's this, oh man, he shouldn't have said this or shouldn't have said, and what? And just let this go on. Because if we're going to go, we're going to hammer guys for PEDs, but we're not going to go through. We're not going to call out other crap that's out there. It's complete garbage. And I feel like with you, man, I can't wish you any more besides the best of luck. For me, is this. It's going to take one team, right? One team with a backbone who's going to come out, make an offer, and it's going to be like the straw that broke the camel's back in regards to offers that come flooding in. Because what you've done, the track record, and what I have right here, if you want to use age as an excuse with you, you're 35 years young, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
35 years young. If you want to use that as an excuse, that's garbage as well. Because he's gotten better with time. He's just like the old bottle of red wine. I'm sure as also when you go riding around the Ferrari, you stop down and knock yourself a little house cab. But nonetheless, man, it's something for you. The innings are there, the wins, the productivity, what you've provided, team. It's only gone up. It's only gotten better. And it's one of those ones we talked about it before the show. It's not a matter with you that we're looking that you're going to go, hey, I need a 5-year deal. No, it's nothing. But the fact that all of this stuff starts taking shape, the body of work that you have health-wise, we haven't run anything there when I'm looking at innings unless I've missed something besides maybe some odd and end crap that you run into, period. It's all there. And on my end, I'm going to go through. Someone just put integrity has no price. Hell yeah, Daryl. Dude, come on some other time. If you want to go, if you want to get a Ferrari to the Fort Worth Texans Baseball Club, give the address. And then I'm going to tell you, I'll type it to you because I don't want too many gifts coming in. My daughter, Brooklyn, again, January 20th was her birthday. I figured just go ahead and get the address. Feel free. Send a gift from Uncle Mike. Dude, hell yeah. Wish you the best of luck. Come on back on sometimes. And again, don't be afraid to sprinkle in some furniture or, paint one of your walls on occasion, would you?
I appreciate it, Greg, man.
You're the man. Hell yeah. I'll stay talking to you.
Yeah, I'll come on anytime you want me.
Now we're talking. You got it, man. Later, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Guys, that's awesome. Gold, however you want to think of it, that's what we're going to call it. All right. Perry Lunsford making it happen. You can't get guys on like this. We already covered Nikki Green. We covered Hiley. We covered all of them. Dr. Nikki or Perry Lunsford. I'm throwing our producer Lendon for a loop here and hitting you with all this. The healthy insurance dude. No other route, no other place my wife and I go for this stuff ever than Perry Lunsford, the healthy insurance dude. Y'all need it. Everyone needs health insurance, okay? Say what you will. The stuff, I realize it's ridiculously priced. There's no good way. It's not exciting, but guess what? He can go shop it around for you. It's not this cookie cutter stuff. Get you set. He set us up. We're set up here moving forward on, we got our rate locked in for all three of us. We end up having another baby. That little boy or girl will be locked in as well. You don't get that nickname from nowhere, the healthy insurance dude. Carl Malone didn't become the mailman overnight. He didn't become the mailman without John Stockton. The exact same way with the healthy insurance dude. Give Perry a call, 817-205-6257. Okay. Mention the Greg Holly Show and watch him work your magic. Robbie Tucker, sweet Robbie Tucker with Chemtech Pest Control. B. Roach Ant Specialist. He's the messiah of pest control. He walks on your property the same way the actual Messiah walked on water. When he disperses his chemicals, guys, it's not even a matter of wiping stuff out or getting rid of little problems that you may have with some pests on occasion. They just retreat. They head off to someone else's yard. It becomes their neighbor's problem. I'm telling you, man, it is absolutely incredible when he shows up to your property, what ends up happening. You got to give him a call. He is Robbie Tucker. His company's Chemtech Pest Control, 817-489-5500. Let me finish with my other guys here, but give him a call. Give him a call when I get off. 817-489-5500. Fiers mentioned he's looking for a He's looking for a house. He's going to get out of that shell of a monstrosity of a house that he's got. If he comes to Fort Worth, comes to Texas, no one better than Kristen Holly Realty. Top 20% in all of Keller Williams. Several closings this week, baby. Keep it rolling. Keep it going. Keep it happening. Buying, selling, investing, negotiating. She's the one. Just happens to be my beautiful wife, but I'll tell you, it's been impressive. The two of us go hand in hand because all we do is work, hang out with Brooklyn, work a little more, knock down some food on occasion. But if you need help navigating this, do not go into it thinking you're going to do it yourself. You get burnt. All it takes is one slip up, and guess what? You're in a whole heap of crap, and especially if you're buying. Buying doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't. Doesn't cost you a dime, maybe a little bit of your time. She's relentless, answers the phone. That's another thing you run into. I can't tell you how many realtors along the lines here of owning houses that ring, ring, ring. You don't get them. Ring, ring, don't get them. They call you, and then you don't hear from them again for a month. 817-808-9464. My wife will gladly help you out. Kristen Holly Realty with a under the Keller Williams umbrella. Dr. Nikki Green, Hiley Buick GMC, Perry Lunsford, the healthy insurance dude, Robbie Tucker with Chemtech Pest Control, and Kristen Holly Realty are the ones that make this show possible. That's all the time I have today. Big thanks for Mike Fiers, my man. Wish you the best of luck. We're going to post this thing. My little rant, my little story that I made for you is what's going to make this stuff happen. We wish you the best of luck. Love to have you back on. Guys, we're going to see you at the same time, the same place next week, 1 p.m. Central Time, live from the old G. Holly studio here in Fort Worth, otherwise known as my office, with a mean green screen behind me. God bless our troops, police, firefighters, and first responders. God bless the greatest country that's ever been known to man, the United States of America. My name is Greg Holly. This is the Greg Holly Show. Until next time, go Fort Worth Texans, and good night from Fort Worth, Texas.
He said, is this really where you've been for the last few days? Hell yeah, it is. Is that all you gotta say?